Hey everyone, Justin here from the Bill Coors Wellness Center, coming back at you today with another stretch and mobility routine. For today's routine, we are going to be on the ground, and we're specifically going to be in a kneeling position for all 5 of these mobility exercises. So what I want you to do is make sure you've got a soft area for you to be kneeling on, carpet, a yoga pad, even toss some pillows underneath your knees if you need to, whatever you need to get comfortable. Then as soon as you've got that ready, we're going to go ahead and hop into the first one, which a lot of these use our child's pose from yoga, which is going to be just knees stacked underneath the hips. Top of the feet are flat on the floor. Then child's pose specifically is trying to sit back into the heels, then reach arms up overhead about shoulder width. So we're going to start here with our child's pose. So go ahead and get in that position now if you're not already. And then what we're going to do is we're going to start with our first exercise, which is a thread the needle. And so I'm going to take one arm, thread it with my palm facing the floor, underneath, holding for a second. I'm trying to get this shoulder as close to the floor as I can. And then this other arm stays where it was, outreached. I'm holding for a couple seconds. Then I'm coming back and I'm alternating. So same thing on the other side. We're gonna go 5 on each side. So I'm going for my second right now on the right. And then I'll go second on the left. And we'll rotate through. There's 3. Again, working up to 5. Just really making sure that we're breathing out as we reach through and thread. And then let's do one more on each side. And then once we've got that done, we're going to stay in child's pose. So we're going to have backside on my heels. I'm reaching out. And then what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to come up out of this, get my feet or the balls of my feet up underneath me, and then from this position I'm just going to try to straighten my knees as much as I can, hold for a couple seconds, and then I'm coming back down and sitting back into that. So we're going to go through this again 5 times. I'm trying to straighten my knees as much as I can, kind of get myself into a pike position. And then I'm sinking back into child's pose. We're going to go through this sequence 3 more times. Remember, it's not a race here. We're going for slow and controlled. Taking nice deep breaths as we come into this 4th one. Balls of my feet up underneath me. Pressing into almost like a down dog position if you are familiar with some of the common yoga movements. Sinking back into child's pose. And then let's do one more. So I'm trying to drive heels towards the floor, straighten those knees, hang out for a couple seconds, then bring the knees back to the floor, point my toes away from me, and sink back into child's pose. And then once we've got 5 of those done, we are going to move to a single arm reach, staying in this nice child's pose position. So you're back in child's pose. What we're going to do is we're going to keep one arm straight out like a normal child's pose, but then the other is going to walk as far across that other arm as possible. I'm going to rest my head in the little nook that's created by both upper arms. I'm going to hold here for a second. I'm feeling the stretch right here underneath my armpit and my lat and obliques. I'm holding for 30 seconds. Just making sure to breathe deeply in through the nose to fill up that belly. Nice long exhale out through the mouth. And once you've got 30 seconds there, you're going to return to the start. And then same thing, we're walking the opposite arm across to form crossed arms like you see here with me. And then I'm just sitting back into it, resting the head. Nice big deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. 30 seconds here. And then once you've got those 30 seconds there, we're going to move out of that child's pose position, and we're going to go into a half kneeling position. So in this half kneeling position, I've got knee underneath hip, and then the front foot is far out enough so that I've got a 90-degree bend in that knee. From here, what I'm going to do is I am going to put the same side hand as the front leg. So in this case, I've got my left foot or left leg forward. My left hand is right next to the foot. Let me move back a little bit so you can see that. So I'm here. I am going to squeeze the back glute. So for me, I've got the right leg positioned down on the floor, on the knee. I'm going to squeeze that glute at the same time as I bring the hand down. From here, I've got a little bit of hip stretch I can create by taking this arm and pushing out into it. And so that's going to get a little bit of stretch through the hip capsule, and you're going to feel it where the hamstrings insert, deep in the gluteal area. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this hand that's not next to the foot, and I'm just going to rotate it up with a straight elbow, following with my vision 5 times. Exhale as you rotate. There's 4. Again, nice and slow and controlled. It's the name of the game here. And then once you've got that, you're going to go to kneeling, flip the other leg out. So I'll give you the view from this side. I'm going hand next to foot. I'm going to squeeze this glute that's down. That's going to get a little bit of a stretch through my hip flexor. And then I am going to press out slightly on the knee with this right arm as I take the left arm up over head towards the ceiling. Nice, slow, and controlled. I'm following it with my vision. We're going for 4 and 5. And then once you've got those done, come back to a kneeling position. And we're going to do our last mobility exercise, which are child's pose external rotations with the shoulder. So external rotation is this movement here or here. We're going to be working some of the rotator cuff muscles and also some of the lower back, specifically the lower trap muscles. So sink down into child's pose once again. Instead of bringing your hands up overhead like this, I want you to stay in child's pose, but bring your elbows to 90 degrees. And then from here, rest your forehead on the floor. And we are going to pull the hands up off of the floor as much as we can, holding for a couple seconds. This is a very, very short range of motion. You may only get off a couple centimeters, or you may get off maybe an inch or 2, but all we're concerned with is trying to activate those muscles that help us externally rotate our upper arm bone. So, come up, 3-second hold, come down, rest a second, come back up, 3-second hold. We're doing 5 of these. There's 2, coming up, 3-second hold. Notice that the elbow is staying on the floor. We got 2 more. And then the last one. and then I am relaxing. Come on up, shake it all out, and that is it for the 5 kneeling full body mobility exercises for today. So hopefully you enjoyed those, you feel a little bit looser, and we will see you next time. Take care.